This week the theme is fauna, so for our project we're going to make our very own tiny tin box field guides, just like this one. Now a field guide is a book that's designed to help the reader identify plants or animals in an area. But I'm more interested in the area that we actually live in, so my book is about my apartment complex. Yours might be about your backyard. Here's what you're gonna need: cardstock, regular printer paper, pens, pencils, watercolor brush, water, decorative tape. So I have this kind of tape, and I have like a bunch of different kinds, but if you don't have it, it's okay. You can still do the project without it. Fun paper with patterns, same thing. Construction paper will work as well. Let's see. Scissors, a ruler, hot glue, regular glue, Sharpies, and a small box. So I have a mint box and like a little jewelry box. This is where our book's gonna be, so this part is important, that we find a little box that we can reuse. Alright you guys, we're gonna get it started by preparing our cardstock to be the inside of our book. This is gonna be the accordion book part. It's important that we use our cardstock. It's a little bit thicker so we can paint on it. So let's take our box. This time I'm gonna use the jewelry box for this project. And I'm gonna put it right alongside the bottom of the sheet of paper like this. Take my pencil and very lightly mark at the top and then slide it over. You might need your parents' help for this part. If you do, it's okay. Go ahead and ask. Just like that. I have two little lines. I'm gonna take my ruler and just fill in the rest. Line it up at the tops of the lines. And you're ready to start cutting. It's okay if it's a little off, that's alright. Let's try it out. Now we're going to start making the accordion fold pages of our book. So let's fold our book, our little strip of paper here, our cardstock, in half. And then fold that half in half. When you're all done, you can unfold it and you will have 4 pages for 4 different animals. If you want your book to be a little longer, you can repeat the step again, this time using like the sheet that you already have. Just very lightly cut it out and fold it again like you did the first time. And you can attach it to this end when it's folded. You will have 8 pages for your book. Now it's time to get to the really good stuff, guys. We're gonna paint the pages of our book. So when I did mine, I picked one color and I played with adding, either making it darker or lighter or adding a little bit of a different color to it. But in other words, I tried to keep it monochromatic. So for this one, I kept it sort of yellow and in yellow tones. And this one, green bluish tones. So think of your color before you start. What color do you want to do for the inside of your pages? Keep in mind that you also don't need to paint the entire rectangle. You can. I kept a little bit of white spaces on mine, so it's entirely up to you how you fill in your pages. But do think of one single color that you will build, because we're trying to keep our book monochromatic on the inside. While we set this aside to dry, let's start thinking about how we're going to decorate our box. One thing that I wanted you guys to keep in mind was that we want the outside of our box to sort of give a hint about what's on the inside of our book, right? Just like this one right here. I haven't gotten a chance to really decorate it as far as I would have wanted, but I do have like a little bit of plants and greenery. And then when you open it, I gave you a little bit of clue as to the kind of thing you might find on the inside of my book. So be thinking about how you can give people a clue with the outside of your box. Like I think for mine, I might be able to add some animals, like collage an animal or two on here so that you know for sure that this has some fauna in it. So I have my box here And the main thing to decorate is that you need fun paper like this. You need a little bit of hot glue as well. If you have some cool tape, that's pretty cool too as well. Like that's what I put around the edges of my project. It's a little bit of tape. The main thing you want to know is that we want to trace the outside of our box. That's how you get a whole surface covered of your box decorated really quickly. But also if it's cardboard like this, then you can color it, right? You can paint it. It's really up to you. What I did was that I cut it out, right? I traced it and cut out the sheet of paper, but if you want to color it, that works as well. So what you do so that you can decorate it, if you want to cover the whole thing, is put your box down like this. Find the spot that you like you like the way that it looks. Like I think I like these polka dots, so I might put it right here. Hold it down with one hand. Take your pencil. Ooh, let me move this up just a little bit. There you go, guys. Take your pencil. Trace it. Very gently. And then using your scissors, slowly cut this out. And I'm able to glue that. If yours is cardboard like this little box is, then you can probably just use Elmer's glue. But if your parents let you, with their help or on your own, you can hot glue this like cool pattern paper onto your box as well. Look at that, and then you can cover the whole outside. You can also put your awesome tape around the edges, right? Let's see, oh, it's right here, silly. Yeah, you can put this awesome tape around the edges as well. It's really up to you how you decorate your box. Okay, now we're gonna get started thinking about drawing the animals for the inside of our book. Our book is about the fauna in our area, so I wrote down a list of all the animals that I know that are kind of in the area of where I live in. So often I see coyotes, I've seen rabbits, I've seen lizards, certainly wasps, hummingbirds that go like at the tops of the trees. So you think about the animals that you see pretty often, but also remember our field guide, right? Field guides have little diagrams and drawings that label what these creatures look like and what they are. They describe what these creatures look like and then label them, right? So that you can see them if you went out into the wild. We want to kind of do the same thing on the inside of our book. We want to draw these creatures that we see in our backyards or in our apartment complexes and then label them. Once you've made your list of the fauna in your area, you're ready to start drawing them. But before we just randomly draw them on the sheet of paper, I think it's really helpful if we fold it like so, and then fold that half in half just like before, very carefully, and then one more time. So what this is gonna do is this is gonna create rectangles that you know that this is about the size that we want to draw our animals. Some of you guys like to draw animals in anything really small, and so this is a great project for you because you can draw your tiny animals right here, each one with a separate animal. But this helps it keep it nice and small so we can fit it into our accordion book when we cut them out. Now, to get to drawing our animals, one thing I really suggest is to look up some references. Look up some photos of the animals that are in your area so that you can draw from looking from observation, right? An actual animal that lives in your area. This is a spiny lizard, and I see them all the time here in the area that I live. So I looked up my Texas spiny lizard so that I can draw from observation. I'm looking at him closely. Now, I actually suggest that you draw with a pencil, but because I want you to see what I'm doing, I'm gonna draw with a pen. When you draw from observation, it's really about looking at the details, right? And each person is different. I'm not gonna draw the entire lizard because I kind of just want like this portion of him. So I'm gonna start with his eye. If you start getting frustrated, remember you can always try again. Make sure you're using a pencil right. Don't do it like Miss Carina right now. This is just for an example so that you can see what this lizard's gonna look like. He's really spiky. It's all about the details, so what are ways in which I can show that this is in fact a lizard? What are things that make this lizard special, that are important that I draw? Like I think maybe this pattern on the back of the lizard might be important to draw. If it doesn't look exactly like what you see in the photograph, that's okay. Each person has a different way of drawing things. It's all about taking your time and taking it nice and slow. I have a lot of practice on my hands. But if it takes you a little longer, that is okay too. There it is. Texas spiny lizard. And if you think that you might forget what it is that you drew, you can write it out too. Like that. Once you draw all of your animals, we're gonna take our time and cut them out and glue them onto our pages. Alright you guys, we're in the last steps of our project. The only thing that's left now is to cut our animals out. Once you drew all of your animals, cut them out nice and carefully and glue them onto each page of your book. Take your time. When I cut mine out on this book right here, if you notice, I didn't cut right along the lines that I drew. I cut around and left a little white space. I like how it looks. It's up to you. As we are finishing up our project, don't forget to play around with where you put your animals before you glue them. You can move around a little bit. Once you glue them, feel free to label the animals and put a title. I put Miss Carina's apartment complex fauna, but yours could be your backyard. Everyone's is different. And then finally, fold it into your box, and you are all done.